Some people say a man is made out of mud. A poor man's made out of muscle and blood. Muscle and blood and skin and bones. A mind that's weak and a back that's strong. You load 16 tons, what do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt. St. Peter, don't you call me 'cause I can't go. I owe my soul to the company store.
That is the
I was
voice
born one
of
morning
Eric
when
Hollaway,
the sun didn't
one of the
shine.
lowest voices in the world. He is joining us now here on The Voice Choice, and we welcome him from St. Petersburg, Florida. Welcome to the show, Eric.
Hey, how's it going, Keith?
It's going great. You know, that is a really low voice that you have. There's a term for it. Would you explain to the audience what it's called and how rare it is?
That term would be octavist, and in the American description, that is a voice that actually sings one octave below the American standard of bass. And it's pretty rare, pretty rare.
How rare is it?
To my understanding, there are probably around 8,000 or less octavists in the world right now.
What kind of an effect do you have when you see somebody in the grocery store?
Typically, they hear my voice and right away they go either wow or they ask if I'm in radio or you've got to be a singer with that voice or something to that effect. But it gets everybody's attention when I speak.
You know, it sounds almost artificial. I mean, I know you. We are talking. It is real.
Well, I know my lowest note currently is the E1.
Uh-huh.
And that's towards the bottom end of your standard piano.
Well, let's take a listen to you. And so, Mike, go ahead and let's take a listen to Eric Hollaway, the octavist.
Lost their leaving Tarlham.
Locked down, but I won't shut down, no. 'Cause I got the God of the world living in me. Yes,
Hail the hand-born Prince of Peace. Hail the Son of Righteousness. I cast my mind to Calvary, where Jesus bled and died for me. Oh, baby, I'll meet and greet you in that magical place where planes arrive and romance takes flight. College football was born here, in the great state of New Jersey. A statue symbolizes the birth of our great game. Each Saturday, our Scarlet Knights pay homage as they march into battle. From far and near, they came to Rutgers. There was Robeson, Austin, Kroll, Burns, and more. These men of legacy shaped the state football team of New Jersey.
So, I understand that there's been a phenomenon that's taken place with you with TikTok. Explain where you started, where you are, and what's going on.
Yes, and it's crazy what's happening right now. I had a few videos on TikTok. I think I put the first couple up maybe a couple of years ago, and they just kind of sat there like rocks. And I guess I didn't know the platform. Every platform is different. I was trying to make a presence on the platform, and it just didn't seem to be working for me. So I just kind of left it dormant and concentrated on other platforms and, marketing myself in other ways. But then I had some friends who were really making some headway on TikTok. And I told myself around the end of last year, I said, well, this year, I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to get on there. I'm going to study it. I'm going to, do something to try to make some kind of impact on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was around towards the end of January, and I put up a video that, after studying how people were doing videos on duet videos on TikTok, where you can actually sing along or perform along or
Yeah.
with other people, I created a video that was a little unique, different than what I'd seen on TikTok, and I carried in the skills I learned multi-tracking my voice that I used to do on YouTube for many years, where I provide all the harmony parts.
Mm-hmm.
And so I put together a video for that and invited people to come in and duet singing the lead part. And that particular song was My Girl by The Temptations, which was written by Smokey Robinson. And after a couple of days, it kind of sat there, but I guess it takes time for people to actually pick up on the video. And all of a sudden, it just kind of started taking off. And within a week, within less than a week, that video had over 1 million views, and it was just climbing. It was crazy. It literally turned into like a phenomenon, because reading the comments, people were saying that, wow, this is the first video I duetted on TikTok. Your video makes me feel comfortable. It makes me feel safe. Some people were saying how it just brightened their day. It brought them out of a slump, even though they knew they couldn't sing a lead. They tried it anyway. They felt comfortable doing it. And it was very moving, apparently, to a lot of people. Could you be a lead singer? Duet this video to find out. I provided everything you need, including the backing vocals. I guess you say, what can make me feel this way? My girl, whoa, 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 my girl.
How many likes are you getting?
When I started doing TikTok again in January, I had about 180 followers and a total video likes at around 1,100. As it stands today, I have almost 1.5 million total video likes and close to 140,000 followers.
140,000 followers, and you
Yeah.
did say over 1 million likes.
Yes.
Right?
1.5 million total video likes, from 1,100 to over 1.5 million in about 2 months' time, less than 2 months' time.
Are you surprised?
Crazy. Oh, I'm flabbergasted. You can't create, you can't set out to make a viral video. You just never
Right.
know what people are going to latch on to. So all I was doing was just being myself, putting my talents and skills out there, and whoever liked it, liked it. And that's how I've always been with social media. And for some reason, that My Girl video just caught fire, and it drew a lot of attention to my site, where I had some other videos, because I try to upload at least one video a day, the consistency of it. And so they're getting to discover other things about me, my humorous side and other things like that.
Right.
And so I put out another video. I was invited actually to duet this video called Misty Mountains Cold from the Lord of the Rings series. And I've been asked to do that song for many years and just haven't gotten around to it. So these guys called the Wellermen, they got together and they put it together. They actually have a solo of it that you can purchase, but they invited me to sing a part on it. They're inviting all the bases, really, to just join in. And so I duetted that video 3-4 days ago now. And overnight, it had close to 2 million views. And I think now it's about 7 million views. It's got over 1 million likes. And it just snowballed. It just really snowballed. So now I'm starting to get comments from people in other countries, whereas before it was mainly the American audience that I was getting comments from. But now I'm getting comments from people in Russia, people in Italy, people in Germany, all over the world now. People are starting to comment on that video. So it's letting me know that that video has really went worldwide, which is pretty crazy.
It's unbelievable. It really is. We'll take a break right now and go to commercial for our sponsor, Sure. And then when we come back, we'll talk about the words that you won't say.
This segment of The Voice Choice is sponsored by Shure. And this is the voice of God. Actually, I'm not God at all. I'm Eric Hollaway, a voice actor. And when I want to sound my very best, I depend on Shure microphone. It delivers the sound I want. So, how am I doing?
This is really interesting to me. Being a voiceover talent, which you are, there are certain words that you will not say and that you turn money away from. Tell all of us why that is and what words you will not say for the microphone.
Well, it's because of my upbringing. I'm a PK, a preacher's kid, raised in the church, and I have Christian values to this day. And so because of my faith, even though I did stray when I was in the Army, and I said anything anybody would ever hear or say, but I felt convicted, and I just kind of went back to my roots, my upbringing, and I stopped using profanity. And then I had a family of my own, and it was something that I wanted to show my kids, that you can speak intelligently without using profanity, and say what you need to say and get your point across. And that was just my stance for me. I didn't put that on anybody else. I don't put that on anybody else to this day. That's just my stance for me. I choose not to use profanity. And so when I got into voiceover and it really started to take off, because of the different abilities I had in my voice to do characters and stuff like that, impressions, a lot of people were asking me to audition for characters in video games and such. And that's when I really started to realize that there aren't a lot of video game characters that don't use profanity. And it got to the point to where when I did get the auditions for characters, I would ask my agents, hey, would you happen to know if this guy uses profanity somewhere in the game? Because usually in the audition, they won't have those words.
Right.
And so it got to a point to where they really couldn't tell me. They didn't know. So one of my agents suggested I just stop auditioning, because I didn't want to put myself in a position to where I would audition for a role, I would get the role, and then I kind of understand all the things that go behind hiring an actor to get the part. And so you kind of get everything ready to put this thing in motion. All the pieces start to turn. And then all of a sudden, when it's time for a session to record, I see all these words that I just don't want to say. And so I didn't want to be in a position or put myself or them in a position, because that's money. That's money wasted. That's time wasted. That's frustration. That's anger. And it makes me look bad. And, you know, there's nothing positive about that when they have to halt production. And
but let me get this clear. I have to interrupt.
Okay.
If somebody offered you $100,000 to say the F word, would you do it?
I would not.
That's
not worth it.
remarkable.
It's
That's
not worth it to
remarkable.
me.
That's
It's not worth
remarkable.
it. Yeah, it's not worth it to me. Some things are worth more than money, you know, and
yeah.
my integrity is one of them. And the example that I try to lead, especially for my kids and now my grandkids. Yeah.
Well, let's speaking of characters, let's listen to you doing character voices, and we've got that ready for the audience to hear now.
You people having a good night? Any requests? Absolutely. What do you want to hear? Perfect. We can do that. Ben Webster, right?
The whole time, I'm inside the barrels. And the barrels are made of oak. I'm allergic to oak. I got such a rash. Hey, Ma. How you doing?
Are you here for the Tall Ships Festival? Oh, that's next to the Old North Church. I'm Dr. Ronald Jovis, and I was abducted by aliens. Just like y'all were.
So, you've come. Turtles.
Life is like a game of cards. The hand you're dealt is determinism. The way you play it is free will.
When you're part of our team, your family, and the work you do year-round is something you can hang your hat on.
Rome, Georgia. Nestled in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains of northwest Georgia, situated between Birmingham, Chattanooga, and Atlanta, is a hidden jewel of the South in which 100,000 people call home.
No, for real! What is that? It's like a mix between nail polish and last night's fish dinner. That is funky, dude! Your house is funky!
Nah, it's bigger than that. I count the love. I count the times I fell and got back up. The times I kissed my daughters before and after a flight. The times I closed the gym. The times they called my name and I delivered.
Welcome to Melty's Ice Cream. What are you having, new or used? Would you like new ice cream or gently used ice cream?
The phrase, "you only live once," should inspire people to throw caution to the wind and follow their whims, wherever they may lead.
I know something about you that a lot of people are going to be very interested in. At one time, true or false, in the military?
I was in the military, true.
Okay, true or false, you had top secret security clearance?
True.
True or false, you literally did work in the nuclear warhead development business? True or false?
True. I actually worked on live nuclear warheads.
Live nuclear warheads. Tell us about, because none of us that are watching this know anything about that clandestine world. What's it like?
Well, it was pretty interesting at the time. All those warheads have been long since dismantled and done away with. But at the time, we were in the Cold War. And being stationed over in Europe, in Germany particularly, we actually maintained the live nuclear warheads that we had over there. We trained on the firing systems. We worked with the tritium chemicals that were involved in those. We maintained the testing systems. We actually tested the firing systems. So we maintained the test equipment itself. We painted the rounds. We painted the storage containers. We maintained the bunkers. It was pretty interesting work. Pretty interesting.
It seems to me, I'm thinking about you and what you do now, and nuclear warheads, voice work, doesn't really fit,
Right.
but
It's
you turned it
definitely
into
one
a
end
career.
to the other. Yes.
Yeah. It's fascinating to me that I've actually met you and that you really did this work, but now you've been declassified and that is in your past and you know nothing about this sort of stuff. Is that true or false?
Correct. That is true. It's far in my
Okay.
past, and I have no idea what that state of the military is up to these days.
So what are you up to now in terms of your voice work, and what role has study played in your career as you continue to get better and better?
Well, I get work steadily. Thankfully, I'm thankful for that. Each week, it seems that someone new reaches out to me, and we start to develop a working relationship. The bulk of my work has been in corporate narration, and all the different voiceovers that you would hear at a corporation, be it training videos or safety videos or special events within the company that they don't play outside the walls of the company just for the employees, such things like that. But it has been ever increasingly expanding into all other facets and genres of voiceover.
How did you learn voiceover?
Well, when I was a kid, me and my brothers would watch Saturday morning cartoons, and we always enjoyed imitating the characters and creating our own characters and voices for them. And so at the time, I had no idea that what I was doing then was actually preparing me for this thing I do now, which is voiceover. It also, I think it stretched my abilities as far as my range in being able to do different types of voices and characters that aren't just in the bottom part of somebody's voice. I've been singing as well since I was about 5 years old, and when I was a young adult, I was given a voice scholarship at the local college, and that's where I was introduced to the world of opera and opera workshops and
You sing opera?
competitions. Yes, I do sing opera. I used to sing in Italian, German, and even one French aria that I sang. But that was many years ago, but the training is still within me. And that classical training has also, I think, benefited my voiceover career in the way that I can control my breathing. I understand cadence, different things like that. There's a lot of musicality in speaking, and so that instantly translates into voiceover. And so I've been able to use all those different things that I've learned over the years. I've worked with voice coaches, voiceover coaches. I've worked with different people that do voiceover workshops, and I continue to do that. I encourage anybody that wants to get into voiceover that they work with a good coach for voiceover, and also do acting classes or improv classes, anything that will help stimulate your creativity as far as presenting words and telling stories and speaking through narration to get from point A to B, even within a 30-second commercial.
It's interesting. One of the sponsors of our show is called The Voice Shop in New York City, and they offer classes remotely or in the city if you live in New York, everything from beginner to dialects, expert to advanced, the whole thing. So if you're watching this from wherever you are and you feel in your heart that maybe you might like to discover your own voice and find it, you can do that by going to voiceshopcoaching.com. And this show is sponsored by the Voice Shop. Let's talk a little bit about, if we can, Eric, the TikTok phenomenon and Smokey Robinson. But first, let me let Mike play yet another commercial that you've done.
When you've got the good stuff, you can get to the good stuff. It could be football stuff, backyard summertime stuff.
There are 12 million small businesses in Illinois. But with First Midwest Small Business Banking, it will feel like there's only one. Yours. Over the course of 9 days, Steve walks 26.2 miles. That's a marathon. Because he chooses to walk whenever he can. Looking good, Steve. Glad presents Torture Tests. To test Glad's odor-blocking technology, we hit a treat from the ultimate nose. A warm bed. Aside from jobs and family obligations, there aren't many reasons to leave one in the morning. Pergo Timbercraft laminate flooring is waterproof and worry-free. It works hard, so you can play harder. Pergo. Life goes on it. Available only at Lowe's.
So, Smokey Robinson is writing you?
Well, we're not
Is that
pen
right?
pals. We're not pen pals, but it was the craziest thing when that first video just took off over that weekend. I remember waking up and I just happened to check and see, what kind of activity happened overnight. And I saw this comment from a person that was calling himself Smokey Robinson, and it had the blue check next to his name, which means he's been verified that is actually him. But even still, I was still like, no way,
Mm-hmm,
So
right.
I went to that particular person's page, and sure enough, it was Smokey Robinson, the Smokey Robinson, who actually wrote My Girl for the Temptations. And he commented on my video, and, he said I had a nice voice, and he said some other things, couldn't wait to see the duets to this. And that was, that was a moment that I was like beside myself. Because it had gotten to Smokey Robinson, and he graciously, because he didn't have to say a word, but he graciously commented on that. So that was pretty awesome.
So what's next? What do you want to accomplish with this rare octavist voice? What would you like to do if you could?
I would like to do whatever I can in the world of voiceover, announcing, maybe being a show host. I mean, you name it. The sky's the limit. And for so many years, people have been saying after they heard me, dude, where have you been? Never heard you before. And some of that is because they don't recognize my voice in an ad, because I can alter it and change it. But a lot of that is because I've never really pushed myself in a marketing kind of way. People in a certain niche, like people who are into deep voices, they know who I am. Bass voices, they know who I am. People who are into voiceover, there's a certain circle of people who know who I am in voiceover. And of course, people who know me here at home know who I am. But for the most part, I'm an unknown, and people have been saying that to me for years, and I realized that. And that was one of the things that I really wanted to change, in particular with going on to TikTok, because it seemed to be the platform now that most people were generating towards. And I just wanted to see if I could figure it out for myself and help the world discover Eric Hollaway. And I think from the way things have been going in the last couple of weeks, that I'm moving in a good direction toward that happening. And
I have a notion, Eric, that they have found you, and that it is going to continue to grow and grow and grow.
That's the hope.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us today here on The Voice Choice from St. Petersburg, Florida.
Thank you for having me, Keith.
Oh, so much. It was a real pleasure. This
Likewise.
is the first time I've ever met an octavist, and I didn't know that I ever would, but I appreciate you coming on the show and sharing with us your life story and your voice
My
story.
pleasure.
And
My pleasure.
we'll see you next time. Thank you, Eric.
Thank you. You guys take care.
Will do.
You load 16 tons, what do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt. St. Peter, don't you call me 'cause I can't go. I owe my soul to the company store.